Hello and welcome to today's lecture. You'll notice I'm sitting a little bit further away from the camera, and that's because today I'm going to show you how to open up your Whisper of the Seeds packages. So they have started to ship out. That means that some of you will be able to expect to receive your Whisper of the Seeds this week. Others, it will be next week. We have a way to initialize things within the Great Central Translator without having to actually get those items to the Great Central Translator. It involves another item that itself is initialized in the Great Central Translator and then gets shipped out here to Denver. Once that happens, we have a very limited window of time with which to use that item to initialize these special devices. So the songs of the spheres, the medallions, those types of things that have to be initialized within the Great Central Translator can also be initialized using this method. And the Whisper of the Seeds is one of these special items. However, while we have two of these, and both of them were supposed to come in this week, FedEx lost one of them. So that means that only half of the Whisper of the Seeds were able to be initialized this week, and that broke our hearts. But that means that it will be about a 1-week delay for some of you to receive your Whisper of the Seeds. So for some, you can start to receive yours this week, starting tomorrow. For others, it's going to be a week from tomorrow, that week, when you can start to receive your Whisper of the Seeds. Call us if you have any questions about that. But by the end of next week, everyone in the United States, Canada, Europe should be able to have received their Whisper of the Seeds. Those of you in China and Taiwan, we are awaiting your orders, and then they will ship out separately. So yours will come in during the month of August. Now, depending upon which version, the hanging from the ceiling mounted Whisper of the Seeds versus the tabletop Whisper of the Seeds, depending upon which version you ordered, your box will look a little bit different. Let's go with the hanging version first. So that box is going to look like this. So you will receive this box, and you'll open it up. There will be a lot of bubble wrap to protect it. Now, this is something you're going to see in this box as well as if you have the tabletop version. There's going to be an envelope inside. Do not open the envelope. The envelope can only be opened after you have had your activation phone call with Cindy. It is important that you not open that envelope until after you have had your phone call with Cindy. Then, once you've removed that envelope and made sure not to open it, you can actually then pull out your Whisper of the Seeds. Now again, this is the hanging version, and you'll notice that all of the seeds are bubble wrapped. That's because the seeds are hollow glass spheres. That makes them about as fragile as light bulbs. And so it gives you an idea of how fragile these are. So each one is individually wrapped. What you'll do, they actually also are draped over the top of the assembly to make it easier and safer to put them in the box. So you'll just go ahead and bring each one so that it's hanging down the way it should be from the assembly. And then you can individually unwrap each one of the seeds, it's just a rubber band surrounding bubble wrap. And once you have that one done, unwrapped, then you'll see it is an actual glass sphere instead of a bunch of plastic bubble wrap. So unwrap all of those, and then you'll be able to hang the Whisper of the Seeds ceiling mounted version. It's not that heavy. It's about 2 pounds, so it doesn't require a lot of sturdy construction to drill into your ceiling above your bed. It's going to be fairly lightweight, what you have to do to be able to hang that above your bed. But have that positioned above your bed before the time of your phone call with Cindy. Now, with all of the versions, hanging, and tabletop. There is something that you need to know. They are visually identical. They are identical in appearance. And that means that if two members of your household are receiving the Whisper of the Seeds, and if both of them are the same type, both of them are ceiling mounted, hanging Whisper of the Seeds, or both of them are tabletop Whisper of the Seeds, then it is essential that you keep them separate and you know which one is which. It might even be a good idea for you to label yours to make sure that you don't accidentally get it mixed up with the other one. This is especially going to be necessary for those of you who use the tabletop versions for multiple other family members, multiple children or grandchildren, nieces, nephews, things like that. So I know that some of you will have 3 or 4 of the tabletop versions sitting on a table, and it is essential that you not mix them up. If you are even slightly unsure as to whose tabletop version or whose hanging version belongs to whom, then you'll actually have to ship them back to us. We will have to initialize them again for the correct person, because there won't be any way for us to be able to tell you which seed that particular Whisper of the Seeds is initialized for. So when you open it up, it will have the name of the person for whom it has been initialized on the envelope. So you can make sure that you know whose Whisper of the Seed it is that you are looking at. Label it so that you don't forget and you don't mix it up with any of the others. Okay, let's take a look at the tabletop versions. There are actually 2 different tabletop versions. So let's take a look at them now. There are 2 different types of tabletop Whisper of the Seeds assemblies, and that's because there weren't enough of either one of the types for us to be able to have enough for everyone, so we had to get 2 different types. They are nearly identical, however. Let's go over one of them. So when you open up the box, again, lots of bubble wrap. There's that envelope that you don't want to open until you've had your conversation with Cindy. There will be a lot of these. That means the spheres, the actual seeds, the moon seeds, wrapped in bubble wrap. So you will unwrap them, take them out of their bubble wrap, and then you will have each individual seed that hangs on its own. So once you have all 7 of those seeds unwrapped, then you can go ahead and unwrap the wooden assembly for the Whisper of the Seeds. This one is a slightly lighter shade of wood. The stem, the main trunk of the tree, so to speak, is almost 1 inch longer than the alternative version, and it has a threaded screw at the bottom to screw into the base. So with this one, if you get this one, then you will simply screw this into the base, and it takes just a little bit of time to do that, not much, about half a minute. Once it is securely screwed into the base, then you have 4 smaller sticks, round sticks, and these slide through the holes at the top of the central element. That would be the trunk of this assembly. So once you get all of those threaded through, then you can start hanging the moon seeds on your Whisper of the Seeds assembly. Now, there is no specific way in which you need to set up your moon seeds, but keep this in mind. The darker colors that are a little more bold are the inception seeds. The lighter colors that are a little bit just more gentle, these are the reflective seeds. It might be a good idea for you to group them with their relevant seeds. So that means you've got a dark and a light blue. Set the dark with the inception seed pile and the light blue with the reflective seed pile. Pink you've got a darker pink and a lighter pink. The dark one goes with the inception seed pile. The light one goes with the reflective seed pile. Yellow. We have a darker yellow and then a lighter shade of yellow. Darker one goes with the inception seed pile. Lighter one goes with the reflective seed. And then there is a translucent, a clear one. This is the Realm Lord. Now, let's go ahead and place the Realm Lord on the assembly. You just have the top of the string has a loop, and simply fit that loop onto one of these sticks that is hanging out. Then let's go ahead and do the inception seed, moon seeds. So let's put the yellow one on, then we can put the pink one on, and we can put the blue one on. Try to keep these not all the way at the edge of the sticks, but somewhat outward so that there's as much space as possible between them. They don't need to all be towards the center. Now, let's go ahead and do the same thing on the opposite side. We'll just put the yellow of the reflective on the opposite side of the yellow of the inception. Let's put the pink, the light pink reflective, on the opposite side of our darker pink inception seed. And then the light blue we can put on the opposite side of our darker blue inception. So that means that we now have our Realm Lord in the center. Then we have the 3 spheres representing your inception seed, and the 3 spheres on the other side representing your reflective seed. Then once you have this, you can move it around. You can take it over to your bed. You can place it wherever you want to store it. Once it is time for your phone call with Cindy, the assembly has to be in your sleeping chamber. It has to be in your bedroom, positioned where it will be positioned when you sleep at night. So on the nightstand next to your bed. Have it positioned there for the phone call with Cindy. It needs to be there where it's going to live in time for the activation phone call with Cindy. Now, the other version of the tabletop is just a slightly darker shade, and it is slightly smaller in all of the respects. So that means the base is slightly smaller. The stem is about 1 inch shorter. The base does not screw in. The stem doesn't screw into the base, it just slides in. And in fact, the hole goes all the way through, so you could just stick it through. But because it will be resting on a tabletop, it will just go only so far. Then, once again, you have the sticks that you can put through it. And so we will thread the sticks through. And you don't need all of the sticks on there, actually, because you only need to have 3. It comes with 5. You can have 5 so that the others are there, but you don't need to position 5. You just need to make sure that you position 3. And then, once again, we take our clear Realm Lord, and we can go ahead and position that first. Then we can take our yellow for the inception seed, our pink for the inception seed, our blue for the inception seed. Our yellow for the reflective seed can go opposite the inception seed yellow. Our pink for the inception seed can go opposite the pink our pink for the reflective seed can go opposite the pink of the inception seed. And then our light blue of the reflective seed can go opposite the dark blue of the inception seed. So then that is our assembly. This assembly is not as sturdy as this one because it doesn't screw in. It's also slightly smaller by only about 1 inch. But it is one of the options. It is a slightly darker shade of wood. For those of you who plan on traveling with your assembly, the smaller one might be better for you just because it's easier to take apart and put together. And of course, it is smaller and will take up less room in your luggage. Now that brings up another point. That point is that the white string balls, some of you ordered the Whisper of the Seeds with the natural jute. And the natural jute is this type of string that is on these spheres. The other string is just white string. Now, we heard from the manufacturer that they confirmed that everything was ready, and then they mentioned that the spheres, the balls, were made of PVC. And this was news to us because we had asked for glass balls, and they had misunderstood being in a foreign language, and they made it out of PVC, so plastic polymer, plastic balls instead of glass balls. Cindy checked with Lantos. He said that was fine, that it was the shape of the sphere that would radiate the sound that gets initialized into each moon seed. Therefore, the material of the moon seed is not important, whether it's glass or plastic. What is important is that it is hollow, spherical in shape, and that it has the sound of its syllable for its spin key in that seed, inception or reflective, initialized within it. So that's what matters, is the shape, the sound, the initialization, and that means that you have a choice. If you're going to be traveling, it is a really safe bet that you want to use the plastic version instead of the glass version, because the plastic version won't break as easily as the glass version. I cannot imagine that you could safely take the glass version with you anywhere, check it through luggage, and expect it to survive the trip. So the plastic balls will be much better for you if you plan on traveling with these. Also, if you plan on moving them around your home or placing them in an area where they might be knocked over. In those cases, the plastic may be preferable as well because they won't break. However, if you ordered the white and you want the glass balls, simply call us and we will trade out the balls so that you've got the glass instead of the plastic inside the white netting that you had ordered. Likewise, if you ordered the jute and you think, I would love to get it as plastic instead, go ahead and call us and we can trade out the plastic ones when they come in, but we want you to get them as soon as possible, so we'll still send out the ones that we have that are the glass ones for you. Okay, everyone. Those are all of the important details that you need to have for when you receive your Whisper of the Seeds assembly. And again, you're going to receive it sometime this week or next week, unless you're listening to me in China or Taiwan, in which case you haven't placed your order yet. And as soon as we get that order, then we'll have it prepared and shipped out to you, and that will be sometime in August. Okay, everyone. I'll speak with you again on Wednesday with more instructions. I want to make sure that when it is time for your phone call with Cindy, you know what to expect. You know that you won't be confused. You won't be unsure of how to use the Whisper of the Seeds. They are easy instructions, but you have to go through them with Cindy and then read them in the letter. So I'll just make sure that everyone knows what to expect, and then it'll be easy for you. Okay, everyone. Have a great week. I'll speak with you on Wednesday.